first, yet another blow to our national defence preparedness, with Labor scrapping a $7 billion military-grade satellite comms system. It's an upgrade which is only 18 months old. They were touting it back then as Australia's biggest ever space program. But like so much when it comes to defence and Labor, they're good at the announcement but shocking at delivery. Only $150 million was actually approved for what was to be a planned budget spend of $5 to $7 billion. Joining me now to discuss this and those submarines, Director at Strategic Analysis Australia, Michael Shoebridge. Well, Michael, before we get into the dollars and the cancellation of this project, just briefly explain, why was this satellite system so important? Why did we announce it in the first place?
Well, Peter, at the moment and for years, the Australian military has been almost completely dependent on American satellites and space systems and a small number of commercial satellites to supplement that. We've had no Australian military space capabilities of our own, and all military communications and operations depend on space. So it's been a yawning hole in our capability.
So we announced this project, we wait 18 months to scrap it, we do it in and around the Melbourne Cup US election weekend, hope no one notices, well you notice, but we only ever had $150 million on the table. I mean, a blind Freddie could tell you that this was never going to get up unless they put serious money in.
Well, it was meant to spend about $7 billion, and it's taken about 7 years of intense bureaucratic work to achieve nothing. So Lockheed Martin was announced as the company to deliver this program in April last year. That project was reaffirmed in April by the government in their National Defence Strategy. And now we're told something that was meant to be perfect 18 months ago is now appalling and has to be entirely scrapped. It's hard to have any confidence in the government announcements or defence implementation.
Yeah, and it's funny, yesterday, that launch in Adelaide, you've got the Defence Minister there throwing pot shots at Peter Dutton, you know, making all the political slings and arrows land on the opposition leader, but not doing a press conference on something as important as this, explaining why they got it so wrong, explaining why they can't fulfil a commitment, why they wait 18 months and, as I say, bury it in the Cup weekend and the US election.
Yes, it's very hard to take any of this seriously and see the government as having credibility on defence. You know, 18 months ago, we're told something's perfect. Now we're told black is white, and we're meant to just go along with it and trust this government on defence. It's impossible to do that.
They must be laughing pretty hard over in Beijing. Over the weekend, we learned that just one of our 6 Collins-class submarines is currently operational. All the rest, all other 5 of them, are in dry dock. There's corrosion problems, maintenance delays, industrial disputes. I mean, this is a joke. Yes, the Chief of Navy is now flagging that he doesn't understand the condition of these submarines. They're ageing submarines. We don't know how many of them will have the big life of type extension done. What we can be pretty confident of is the 6 are not going to make it to when the new AUKUS submarines turn up. And if we've got one operational submarine now, keeping those things operating for another 10 and 20 years looks like a Sir Humphrey courageous thing for the minister to want to do. Spot on, Michael, and they're still spinning us this line that we can't keep those boats in the water, conventional diesel subs, but we're so sophisticated down in Adelaide, we can build all of these nuclear subs and that'll be a doddle. I do not believe it. I think we should end up taking completely a Virginia-class US build, but we'll see in another 30 or 40 years' time if we're still talking about this issue. I want to go to something that came up in estimates this afternoon. This is extraordinary. It's been confirmed that only one person has had their visa cancelled onshore after coming to Australia as part of that cohort of people fleeing Gaza. Have a listen.
I'm prepared to say it involves one.
Okay, all right, well that's helpful, I appreciate that. So that one person has had their visa cancelled onshore and is in immigration detention. Can you tell me whether it was for character or security grounds?
Senator, it was cancelled under Section 501 of the Migration Act.
Okay, explain that in plain language terms for people watching who don't know the provisions of the Migration Act.
So those are the character provisions in the Migration Act.
I'm not trying to say that it was information that was new and came to light or about something that happened on shore. I actually don't know the answer to that. What I do know, and we've said before, is that we continually are updated, or agencies are continually updated about individuals.
Honestly, Michael, what did you make of this?
Well, I'm not sure that having a new minister over the top of this department is really improving anything. That whole visa scheme for people coming out of Gaza has been a debacle from start, and it hasn't finished yet. And having to drag this information out of reluctant officials at estimates is just this government all over. They failed the transparency and honesty test.
And this is the department that's more focused on the flag sitting behind officials, as I said, than their core security responsibilities. Michael Shoebridge, thank you.